Hi and welcome to our special video discussion. I'm forecaster Andrew Fleck for Analyst Weathercast, and we have a big event coming up this weekend, specifically on Saturday, when the big headline, the supermoon, is going to be as closest as it has been to the Earth in many years. Forecaster Hunter Ouden is here to discuss more about it. Hunter, I have to just ask you one question firstly, and that is, with the following events this past week about that earthquake followed by that tsunami in Japan, is that at all related to this upcoming supermoon?
Well, personally, in my opinion, no. Because with Earth being closest it's ever been, it has nothing to do with the tides and the gravity of how close it's been to have any effect to plate tectonics at all.
Interesting. So we're not really looking at closer to this Saturday or even a few days after Saturday of any typical natural disaster out of the ordinary occurring, correct?
Well, in the past times there was been a confirmed supermoon, there has been like a little coincidence with some cases. I think the last one was back in 2004, if I'm correct, when he had the other Indonesian tsunami. It was kind of right around that time, but it's just, a coincidence.
Right. Well, some scientists say that not as much activity in the way of catastrophe would be affecting the Earth, but as a supermoon becomes very close to the Earth, there are things such as moonquakes that occur on that moon, and satellite imagery has shown that. Do you believe to that being correct?
Well, there might be some activity on the moon itself, dealing that it's feeling some of our magnetic pool, which can create a little bit of seismic activity on the moon itself. But anything to hear what the moon would do is have an increase in spring tides. Because spring tide is a occurrence. Usually you have a spring tide and a neap tide. The springtime happening right around where the full moon, since that is where the strongest gravitational pull is. So we'll have a little increase in high tides, and we'll have a pretty extreme low tide as well, which won't really have too much effect on the planet.
Would any of the coastal regions need to be on alert around some of those at or below sea level locations along the Earth?
Well, it won't be anything too very noticeable, like down in Louisiana. Some points when it gets to low tide, a low water advisory might get issued because it's showing a lot of the swamps being exposed, but nothing in the way of too major to be concerned of.
Very interesting, Hunter. So as your thinking is that there really won't be that much in the way of a catastrophe or really any disaster at all, and that you're thinking that this Japan earthquake and tsunami was nothing related to the supermoon. That is great, Hunter. That is some very valid information here on this very special video discussion. I also must ask you one thing about the sun. There's been many sunspots occurring, and I was just wondering if you could tie a little bit of into that of what has been the main activity for that.
Yeah, with the cycle finally getting out of solar minimum that has been impacting the area from like 2006 to about 2009, now that it's 2011, the first of the year has really been starting to get pretty active. There's already been 2 cases of X-class flares penetrating the Earth's magnetosphere, actually creating some beautiful auroras almost all the way down to Illinois, some parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Even me and Andrew have seen some auroras, which is kind of unusual, but the activity is only starting increasing right now. There's still a little bit seismic activity of G-class flares, which is about a normal what it is for this upcoming thing, but as you start heading into 2011, 2012, 13, there's going to be a lot of solar activity going to be happening. It's only going to get increasingly worse, so we just have to watch out for satellites and power grids and stuff like that, especially when you have the stronger flares. But you can always check out to see what is latest on our new Facebook page. It's Analyst WXCast Space Weather, where I'll be posting stuff about every day in case anything happens, like a solar flare pops up, or any kind of activity, even just dealing with astronomy.
Very interesting, Hunter. Well, it sounds like this Saturday many folks are going to be needing to recharge those batteries and get some new video film, because it is going to be a very amazing event we have not seen in years, and that is the supermoon. Hunter, are there any questions or suggestions that you would like to ask me, or of course add into what we've already talked about?
Well, with like me personally not thinking anything's major is going to happen from the supermoon, but you will notice the moon will be probably 2 or possibly 3 times as large in the sky, and it's going to be, especially if you guys got clear skies, it's going to be something to see. Take pictures, send it to us, we would love to see it happen.
Very well. Well, thank you, Hunter, for being that second advice here for our very special supermoon discussion. We look forward to more updates here on AnalystWXCast.org and the Facebook pages of Space and Weather, and of course those local zones. I appreciate your time, Hunter.
No problem.
And as for now, this concludes the video discussion. Everybody have a good rest of your week, and look out for that supermoon. This is Andrew Fleck for Analyst Weathercast, signing out.